Week number 3, lecture number 7. Hello friends. Now it's the time to talk about two issues. We call them guilts and regrets. You will agree with me, most of us have certain guilts and certain regrets in our life. Of course, we do not talk about these issues to anybody else. Of course, sometimes we may talk to our dear friends or maybe to our loved ones, but otherwise it's not a sort of psychological distress as such, but it is a part of psychological distress when the intensity of guilt and regrets increases, and then it affects your psychological health. What's the difference between guilt and regrets? Just think over. What is a guilt and what is a regret? Guilt comes from purposefully doing something wrong. You have done something wrong and you know that you are doing something wrong. Like you have stolen something, you have cheated in the examination hall, you have taken somebody's money, you have abused some innocent guys. You could have helped somebody during the time of accident, but you did not help. There are so many incidents where certain things could have been done by you and they were the proper action, but you did not do it. So that particular guilt remains in your mind. Guilt comes from purposefully doing something wrong. You did not do it because you did not want to do it. You could have done it, but did not do it. Purposefully, you did not do it. So we can call it guilt is basically intentionally done negative. Guilt is always negative thing, and this particular negative action has been done intentionally. For instance, if you intentionally denied your loved one their favorite meal, your husband asked, yes, I want a particular dish, let's say motichur laddu. You know you can prepare that motichur laddu. You have prepared earlier also, you have tasted it, he likes it, loves it very much, but just because you are angry with him and you did not prepare. So that particular feeling of guilt comes in your mind, yes, that was a very small request from my husband and I did not do it because I was angry. That is called guilt. So guilt is basically intentionally done negative thing. If your loved one was disappointed because you could not make their favorite meal because you forgot to purchase a specific required ingredient, then that would be regret. Your husband wanted motichur laddu, but certain ingredients were not available at your home and you could not prepare those and he has to do without it. So this particular feeling, oh my God, I would have gone to the shopping center, got the required items and made the motichur laddu for him. What goes, I mean to say, matter of little exercise. Sometime I could have done it, but I did not do it. So that is called regret. Regret, you do it inadvertently because something is not available. You want to do it because certain things are not available, so you could not do it. So regrets are basically, they are being done inadvertently, unknowingly. And regrets generally lead to positive things. When you regret something, so now when your wife will have certain regrets, then she will think, okay, next time let me go to the shopping center, buy those ingredients, and on his birthday I will prepare motichur laddu. So regrets finally gets into the positive actions and that regret is over. But guilt, normally it is negative and you do not get time to correct your actions because the time is past, and then you really feel very bad about it, and regret is always a bad action. Guilt and regret, the difference is that guilt is felt when what you have done was intentionally, knowingly you did it, intentionally done to cause the other person harm or pain in some way. Regret is felt when you inadvertently, unknowingly caused pain or harm, perceived or real. It is perceived or real. It's basically perceived. If I don't eat motichur laddu on that particular time, nothing happens. I mean, I'll eat it next time, you know. So it is a perceived regret to someone, and that you wish you could change the past. Yes, that can be done. Next time you can prepare it. Regret leads to positivity, while guilt does not. Guilt arises from doing some action that we know was not the right thing to do at that particular time, while regret is the result of knowing that something might have been done in a better way than how it was actually done. In regret, I gave you the example of some accident. You are going by, you are passing on the road, you are going for a walk, and some accident takes place. A scooter falls down, scooter gets thrown away. He was bleeding. Now you were nearby, you could have gone there, you would have helped him, you would have called the ambulance, but no, you are in a hurry, you wanted to go, so you kept on running, kept on walking. So that is where the guilt comes into it. And guilt carries a persistent bad feeling. Next day in the paper you read that accident has taken place on so and so road, but because due to the delay happened in the transfer of that accidental person to the hospital, he died. Now he died, so you will think, oh my God, what did I do? I would have helped the guy, I was there on the spot, I could have called the ambulance, I could have gone along with him, admitted him in the hospital, and this delay could have been avoided and his life could have been saved. So here sets in guilt in your mind, this is what I should have done as a gentleman, it's my duty, my moral duty to help the people in need, which I could not do. So that remains in your mind. Guilt carries a persistent bad feeling towards oneself, where regret fuels determination to undo bad actions and not repeat them. Case scenario: one 32 years old lady diagnosed with cancer of buccal mucosa, locally advanced. She has two sons. One is 5 years old and another is 2 years old. Her husband is working in a mill. She has come with her two sisters. What would you assess when she has come to you for treatment? This is the case scenario. The lady is suffering from buccal mucosa, locally advanced, has got two children also, but now she is suffering from this and she might get admitted. So here in this particular case scenario, it is not her problem. It is not created by her. It has just come into her life. If she gets admitted, what about her children, what about her family? She will have lots of regrets, not the guilt. Yes, I could have been with my family, I could have helped my children educate properly. If something else happened, if the case advances too far, if I might die, what will happen to my family? So these are the regrets that, yes, why did this particular disease came to me? You can think positively, but nothing can be done about it. What does a clinician need to know when you refer this issue of guilt and regret to him? Presenting problem or major symptom and behavior, physiological assessment, and psychosocial assessment from patient side. Assessing present complaints of patients, clinical observation, clinician's objective description of the person's appearance and behavior, his or her personal hygiene and emotional responses, and any depression, anxiety, aggression, hallucination or delusion he or she may manifest. These are the clinical observation one has. Whenever a patient goes to the doctor, immediately the first look is nothing but the clinical observation. Why it is important to understand psychological state of patients dealing with cancer? Because having cancer is not the only problem they have currently. It is not the only problem they have currently. And cancer has caused many other difficulties in his or her life as well as in their relatives' life. That is what happened with the lady. She is suffering from buccal mucosa. That is her problem because the cancer is there. It is not the only problem with her now. she is worrying about her two small kids, worrying about the whole family, worrying about the husband, maybe worrying about the economical state, what will happen, too much of expenses, medical expenses. So, cancer is on one side, one major problem, but along with that she is suffering from so many problems which she not capable to attend to. So, any disease, it is one problem, but along with the disease comes many psychosocial problems with the patient as well as the family has to undergo. Having cancer may lead people to experience one or more of the following: anxiety. That lady is having anxiety. Anxiety is about what? Will this disease get over or not? Will I get okay and go back to my work, go back to my family? Uncertainty about the future because she doesn't know what will happen to her cancer. Anger, she gets angry. Why did this happen to me? Why not to somebody else? What wrong did I do in my life? Adjustment difficulties with the present situation. Distress, and that brings distress. Family communication problems. She is in the hospital and the family is at home, and that too with small kids. Changes in body image, and that is how under distress the whole body image gets changed. Depression, decision making difficulties, challenges balancing illness and treatment alongside the demands of life. Demands of life is family one side and other side is the cancer, and she gets placed between these two. Another case scenario: 38-old male patient diagnosed with locally advanced buccal mucosa. He is on Ryle's tube. Ryle's tube is a tube which is being inserted into the stomach through your nose, very thick plastic tube, and through this tube the liquid food is being given because you cannot eat it through your mouth, and therefore Ryle tube, you must have seen number of patients in the hospitals whenever you visit them. It is basically for insertion of liquid food for your sustenance. He is on Ryle's tube and is not able to speak. Earlier he was working in MNC, multinational corporation, and now presently he is on leave from past 8 months. Past 8 months, that means now no salary is coming. It is not a government that which will pay you when you are sick. It is a multinational company. They works for profit. His treatment is ongoing, but his mother is forcing him to stop the treatment, go back to their village and start Ayurvedic medicine. This is another problem. Mother is forcing go back to the village so expenses will be reduced, and forget about this medicine, allopathic medicine, start Ayurvedic. It might improve your cancer. When we went to talk to him, we found him thoroughly negative about the situation, and he did not listen to us because he was under depression. What to do? He could not decide upon it, and now we are going and pestering with so many questions, So he says, no, nothing doing. I don't want to talk to you. This is the case scenario. What are the current problems of the patient and what can be done for this patient? What is stress? The terms, he is under stress now. Should I go to the village? Should I stop this allopathic treatment and should I start Ayurvedic treatment? What about my job? I am working at MNC. How much payment will I get now? So all those things are there, and therefore he comes under stress. The term stress here refers to processes involving perception, appraisal and response to harmful, threatening or challenging events of stimuli. Stress experiences can be emotionally or physiologically challenging and activate stress responses and adaptive processes to regain homeostasis. Examples of emotional stressors include interpersonal conflict, loss of relationship, death of a close family member and loss of a child. Chronic stress, when you do not treat the stress and it goes for a prolonged time, it becomes a chronic stress. Chronic stress is defined as a state of prolonged tension. You are unable to remove the tension and tension persists. So slowly and slowly for a prolonged time, it just becomes routine for you, it becomes a chronic stress from internal or external stressors which may cause various physical manifestation like asthma, back pain, erythemesis, fatigue, headaches, irritable bowel syndromes, ulcers, and suppress the immune system. Chronic stress takes a more significant toll on the body than acute stress does. It can raise blood pressure, increase the risk of heart attack and stroke, increase vulnerability to anxiety and depression, contribute to infertility, and hasten the aging process. You become old, even you may be young. Chronic stress, it may cause various physical manifestation. This we have already seen. The hypothalamic pituitary adrenal axis, it starts from the top, comes down to adrenal cortex, and that is how a negative feedback is being given to the court. Effects of stress on the human immune system. When an individual is stressed or going through a stressful experience, the immune system starts to produce natural killer cells and cytokines. When levels of cytokines are higher, they combat infections, and therefore the brain gets communicated, the body is ill, and it produces symptoms as if the individual was ill. These symptoms include fever, sleepiness. Thank you.